Yeah, hello. My name is Patrick Martin. I'm a reflexologist, Reiki master. I'm a member of the Association of Reflexologists and the Norfolk Group of Reflexologists. And I've been asked to do a video today. So the video that I'm going to do is Brazilian toe technique, which is a really quite a simple technique, and it's something everybody could do if they wanted to. This is for the meridians actually in the body. And meridians are ending here in the feet. Now the main meridians are, if you look at it, you've got the big toe, or the hallux we call it. These represent the spleen and the liver, and it's the end of the toe. And then the next bit, the next toe, is the stomach, and then we go on to the bladder, and the central toe is the gallbladder, and then the smallest toe is the kidney. So by gripping these, and I say grip loosely, because what we do is we hold this toe. The first toe we hold is with these two fingers, and then we move down consecutively after that and back again. If you just watch, what we do is this. Now what we've got to do is we hold these for 3 minutes at a time, and what that does in turn is resets that organ. And that organ then will be back to the way that it should be. Now the only time that we don't keep it for the 3 minutes is if something like it starts to twitch. That means that that organ is taking an overload. So we've got to release that and we move on. If we don't, we overstimulate it, and you're not going to be any good for the client. So we hold that for 3 minutes, and we then move on with our next fingers. And it's always the thumb underneath. So our next finger moves first, makes contact with the toe, and then it's followed by the thumb. And we still continue to hold the previous toe. So then we move on to the little toe, and then we move on there with the thumb underneath, and we just follow that along. And then we move to the second toe, and we can just see that taking hold. And then we move the thumb underneath it, and we're still on contact with all the other toes. The only time that we start to lose any contact with the little toe is when we move on to the hallux, or the great toe. And that is because these meridians here represent the spleen and the liver. So there's two in here, and we need to have the two fingers to it, and we hold on to these. That's all we do. It's a really, really simple technique. And it really balances the body, makes people relax very quickly, and we let go of the left foot first, and then we stroke. We're still holding on this one. We don't want to lose that contact that quick. When we've got contact with the body, we're in symbiotic. You can just feel it. Then we stroke, I then move round to the plantar. I hold the solar plexus, which is just underneath, right in the centre of the toe, above. You've got like 3 little lines on the toe, and if you look at them on the feet or on the plantar, you've got the first one, you've got that dark line that comes up, and then you've got the arch that goes underneath with it, another clean line, then you come back to the other. So it's 3 different lines, and if you just go underneath the part of the central toe of the first line, you've got the solar plexus. Behind the solar plexus there's a big ganglion of nerves there, and sometimes when you're nervous and what have you, this starts to go, and this is the part that you need to hold. But you've got to be careful, really. You know, you want to really be a reflexologist or somebody who knows a lot more about what they're doing, because there's certain parts that you hold, and you only hold for a certain amount of time, and that'll only take training. Right, okay, when we're on there like that, I just stroke and make the client relax before I move on to something else. Now I can't actually do a full treatment today because I cut my finger. That's why I chose to do the Brazilian toe technique. So there are 1 or 2 other little tips that I can tell you today. We also use something which is called hand reflexology. Now hand reflexology, so it just represents the body as well on the hands. And if we take this part of the hand, and this part here is the brain and the head. This part represents the neck. Now, for headaches, I was down the city last week. Went in there to buy a bag for my computer. Wasn't sure of the size. They only had one bag left, so she gave me a number. And she said before I went that she had a terrible headache and she'd had it all morning. So I showed her a quick, simple technique on getting rid of it. And it is quite simple, really. If you just take the index finger here and the thumb, and you just get this fleshy part in the middle, and all you do is you just manipulate that, just round and round. And when I did phone up later on to say yes, it does fit, she said to me it took her 10 minutes and the headache had gone. And she gets terrible migraines from time to time, she said, so she's going to use that technique from now on. So that's one technique, and the other technique that I can tell you today is this, again with a hand, because these are things that you can do yourself. You don't need anybody else to do these. Now this part, as I said, represents the head, and this part here represents the neck. So if you hold your hands like this, the lady who told me this, actually, I was doing a baby reflexology course where I teach parents how to do reflexology on their babies. And she taught me this because I said that I had clients at the time with bad necks, and she told me a really good way to get rid of them, the problems. And it was this, and it's just the thumbs going around each other, round and round. Now you've got to be very careful with this because you've got to go very slow. The slower the better. And you do it 20 times one way, and then you reverse it and do 20 times the next. It's just back and back and back. It's just 20 times, 20 times, 20 times. You just do that once a day. I've got clients that have done that now. I've had these same clients for years. But every time I go there and I say, and I pick it up and I think, ooh, neck's not too good, and straight away they say to me, I forgot, I haven't been doing my exercises. And I can tell when I go there if they have been doing them, and if they have been doing them, there's no problems with their necks. So it does work. There's loads of other tips that I can tell you. If you look on my website, which is www.balance4u.biz, then there's loads of tips on there that you can use. And if you want any treatments, then just contact me. Namaste.